I like trivia. I'm the kind of guy you want on your trivia team. I just seem to have this ability to absorb random, irrelevant pieces of information that are meaningless, but put me in a trivia contest when questions around obscure bits of history, entertainment, politics, geography or science comes up, my light bulb gets switched on. I'm like the Rain Man, or is that the Rian Man? I can remember all those bits of random information I've stored in the memory bank, package it up, and just nail those answers. It's pretty amazing. I even surprise myself sometimes, and that's saying something. But when it comes to being a product manager, do you need to know it all? Do you need to know about Scrum? Do you need to know about user research or market analysis or about leading teams? Do you need to know about how to be a good product manager? Well, stick around. I'll tell you more about why product managers know jack all. Hey there, Rian Chapman from Awesome Product Manager. I'm going to let you in on a secret. I don't tell too many people this, so consider yourself in the inner circle. I studied philosophy at university. I had no idea at the time what philosophy was. It just meant I wouldn't have to spend hours on campus. I could do a lot of reading and get to write some interesting assignments. So it appealed to me at the time. I now know that philosophy was an awesome field of study, and I've done plenty of study since then. I've done a commerce degree, a finance qualification, project management, and product management. Maybe I should think about doing a PhD in product management. I'd be so good at it. My studies in philosophy taught me a lot about the fundamental skills that a lot of people either have forgotten or don't know how to do today, and that is thinking. The original meaning of the word philosophy comes from the Greek word philo, which means love, and sophos, which is wisdom. When someone studies philosophy, they want to understand how and why the world works the way it does. In other words, they want to know the meaning of life. I wonder if they want to know the meaning of product management as well. But not only does it help you with this understanding, it also helps you develop skills in critical thinking. And the more I think about product management, the more the words of one Greek philosopher echoes in my ears. As Socrates said, bingo, I know that I know nothing. These words are amongst the most relevant words ever uttered by a philosopher to the life of a product manager. I know that I know nothing. Such awesome words. Product manager roles are elevated roles with significant responsibility. We're effectively CEOs for a product. There are very few roles where you can actually say no to someone more senior, but as a product manager, that is your remit. If the role is respected and celebrated in an organization, this means if the CEO does come to you wanting a feature, you have the prerogative to say no with the confidence that this is a part of your role and you will be respected for it. But with all this responsibility and positioning, there's something product managers get wrong time and time again. There's a fair amount of pressure as product managers. We're expected to know our customers, our users, the market, and the competitors. We're expected to have an intricate understanding of the organization we work in. We're expected. We're expected. We're expected. We're expected. We're expected. We're expected. Yep, our working lives are filled with expectations. If you aren't used to it or you're new to the role, it can be overwhelming and a little bit scary. I mean, all roles have expectations. It goes with the territory of working. We all have to do something in our roles, and that doing involves certain standards or asks from others. Product managers are no different, but the expectations are broad and the pressure is definitely there, whether it's from external forces or whether you put pressure on yourself. You're in charge of a product, and this product can impact the lives of customers and can make a dent on how your organization performs financially. And if your product is doing really well, it can then become the lighthouse for competitors and opens up progress in new exciting fields. For example, imagine working as a product owner in SpaceX. You're working at the forefront of developing technology and knowledge that is leading this new and very exciting world of space exploration. But I have a question. Do product managers need to know a lot to be successful? And if they do, then why? And I've come to the conclusion that knowledge as a product manager is actually a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, you need knowledge to be a product manager. Otherwise, anyone could do the role and screw it up. So I want to be clear on that. Knowledge for a product manager is essential. Did you ever learn to ride a bicycle? If you are like me as a 6-year-old, I learned to ride a bike courtesy of my best friend, Chris. I remember one day being at Chris's house and he was showing me his brand new bicycle. At the time, this bike seemed enormous. I'm sure now as an adult, the bike would look tiny, but this monster of a bike back then filled me with absolute awe and terror. Now, I'd always seen kids in my neighborhood riding bikes and a lot of them had training wheels on. Chris's bike had none of that. We both stood there marveling over this enormous bike that Chris was able to ride with ease. And what was even more impressive was his bike didn't have any training wheels on. He was like Evel Knievel. When Chris offered me to ride his bike, I shook my head. I told him I didn't know how to ride and there was no way I was going to hop on that bike. So the next minute, I found myself on his monster of a bike with Chris's dad, Mr. Johnston, the dentist, guiding me down the street and then eventually jettisoning me off as I rode off down the street. I'm pretty sure I left a few dents on nearby cars that day as I kept bumping the handlebars off the bike into just about every parked car. Whoops. But I was only 8 years old. But the more I got to ride that bike when I visited Chris's place, the more confidence I built up and the more I wanted to own my own bike. And like many kids, waking up to a brand new bike underneath the Christmas tree on Christmas morning was something I still remember to this day. Then taking the bike out and riding it everywhere, it was just awesome. I was free, and this was in the days when people didn't wear a helmet. Of course, it wasn't without any dramas. I had plenty of crashes, lots of grazes, lots of bruises, lots of tears, but this didn't deter me. I loved riding my bike everywhere. I'm willing to bet your experience was similar to mine, particularly all the crashes, the scrapes, the bruises, and the tears. It's all part of the experience and was essential for the journey to find out what it meant to be able to ride a bike with ease. Every crash and every painful moment was progress. These days, if I hop on a bicycle, it's second nature. I don't even think about that I'm riding a bike. Instead, I'm more aware and anxious about some of the crazy motorists and crazy cyclists for that matter on the roads. But there's a problem when you learn how to ride a bike. You start off with that seemingly massive mountain to climb. That first time you hop on a bicycle, it's terrifying. You think you're going to die or you're going to get seriously injured or hurt someone. But little by little, you get better. And like any learning process, you obtain proficiency. Then the learning stops. I mean, you've got riding a bike mastered, right? So the fear goes, and with it, the motivation to push yourself as well. We end up getting comfortable and we settle into autopilot. And so when we ride a bike, we don't even think about the incredible mental and physical processes going on to stay upright on a piece of machinery that's actually intended to fall over. Product management is the same as bike riding. We start off in a state of fear. We really don't know what we're doing. Oh my God, what am I meant to do as a product manager? I haven't got a clue. But if you're brave enough, you throw yourself into it. You learn as much as you possibly can to not get injured. You might even subscribe to Awesome Product Manager, where you can learn about the best tips, techniques, and knowledge on how to be a successful product manager. And best of all, it's taught by me. You're hungry. You want to master product management so you can take away that fear of coming off your bike and either getting seriously hurt or making a complete fool of yourself. So with hunger comes motivation, and with motivation normally comes action and a habit. You probably do come off your bike a bit and make some mistakes. All of this means you have a hunger for knowledge and a desire to progress, and you do it with all the enthusiasm and energy of a 6-year-old learning how to ride a bike. But then something happens. You've learned to ride the bike. You've mastered product management, and so you dial the motivation down. You don't need to be nervous anymore. Your fear of coming off the bike has gone. You can handle anything as a product manager now. But this is complacency. We've ended up in our comfort zone and hit the wall. After all, we're now expert product managers, right? I want to tell you something. Product management is all about uncertainty. Like the Stoic philosopher Tacitus once said, the desire for safety stands against every great and noble enterprise. If you want a vocation that has certainty, then become a professor at a university. You'll get a guaranteed income and a retirement plan, and you get to teach theory to students all day long without worrying if the theory actually works in the real world. And by the way, if you're a university professor watching this, please don't take that personally. When you think you've got product management mastered, think again. It's that level of comfort that you know everything about product management that will undo you. It will make you unsuccessful. And this level of comfort then also creeps into dimensions of what makes a product manager good. Certainty around customers, competitors, the market, MVP, roadmaps, vision, backlog, customer value, user stories, design thinking, user research, user testing, bugs, tech debt. Enough already. Slow down. Yep, there's a lot to be across when you're a product manager, and it can be overwhelming. We're confident across everything that makes us so good as a product manager. But this is our undoing. Our hunger to be a good product manager is put into storage. We know it all. So we take the foot off the accelerator. That same accelerator that was our response to uncertainty at the start of our roles, which led to our motivation and action to learn and grow. So we end up in this illusion of certainty, not realizing that we've forgotten the little things that can make all the difference to avoiding a crash on your bike. We've stopped dealing with uncertainty and instead embraced those glimpses of certainty that gives us false illusions around thinking we know our customers, we know our market, we know the technology, and we know our delivery team. But there's a catch. Certainty is like a butterfly. It flies from one flower to the next, never staying long enough to settle, never predictable or stable. Certainty fades quickly. The same is true with product management. If we allow ourselves to get comfortable and believe we have mastered it, then when you least expect it, that wheel will fly off your bike, your brakes will fail, and you'll land flat on your face. Probably in front of other people too. I've learned a lot from wisdom that's over 2,000 years old now. It's timeless advice that's just as relevant as it was then. Embracing certainty is fatal. If you aren't evolving and growing, you become extinct, like the dodo bird that failed to evolve and became food instead. As for me, I choose to embrace uncertainty and recognize that I still have plenty to learn and continually remind myself of all my blind spots and do something about it. Obtaining knowledge regularly is just what I have to do. Falling off your bike is painful, and I want to do everything I possibly can to stay on my product manager's bicycle. So every day, I know that I know nothing. So are you comfortable in your role? Are you embracing the uncertainty? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you can continue to hear more about the best product management tips, insights, and learning from the best channel on YouTube, Awesome Product Manager. And if you like this video, or you just don't know, remember uncertainty is a good thing, then do something about it. Click on that like button just about there. As always, you're awesome. Keep being an awesome product manager. And as they say in Greek, taleme agotera. Did I say that right? Catch you later.